Welcome back. Lori is teaching us how to make lemon meringue cookie cups. Good morning, Lori.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
Oh my goodness. We've got a good one for you today. I'm trying to come back to some of our simple recipes that anybody can do with this, get the kids involved, and something you can kind of throw together a little bit quicker. This one we're going to come back when we get to the very end of our recipe though, and I've been permission to play with a little fire. So come back with us later. It's fun.
That's exciting.
We've got some options to start with for the base of our little lemon meringue cookies. And what I've got started here is just going to be our pre-packaged sugar cookie dough.
Super easy.
So you could use the little tube of dough. That would be fine. If you use that one, you're going to mix in a little bit of flour because that's a little softer dough, believe it or not, than the little pre-cut pieces. Or if you have a favorite sugar cookie recipe, use that one. This is not any different than any sugar cookie dough in any way.
Any sugar cookie dough will do?
Anything will do. Wonderful. If it's one that you refrigerate a little bit before you bake it, still do that. Let it together. Let it set up a little bit. But these are just nice because, again, if you want to get the kids to help, they're already cut up. They're already kind of pre-portioned, which is nice for our size of our little containers. So I'll leave that there so you guys can see it. So these are perfect for a mini cupcake container. So you'll see my guy is very small.
Yes.
Not a normal size cupcake one here, but we do want to be sure to spray it with the baking spray because we want these to slide out really easily when they get done. So give that a quick shot. Make sure you get it in all the little spaces. The nice part too, there's 24 of these in a package. And I've got 24 spots on my sheet here. So it's just destiny. So you're going to take these, we're going to roll them up a little bit. And then I'm going to just flatten them out because what we want to do is go ahead and form them into our pan just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because when they come out and they're hot, we're going to give them a little press to make
just
that
a little bit enough to just,
Exactly. They're going to puff up a little bit when they bake, just like a cookie does. But this will just make them a little bit more formed, a little bit easier. And those are all going to go in there. We're going to bake these at 350 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes.
Just until they're kind of golden brown a little bit on the edges.
The edges will be a little bit gold. I don't know if you can really see these well on camera, but they're going to come just slightly out of the container a little bit. So they're going to make this nice little cup. But golden edges, not dark. Mine, I did about exactly 12 minutes yesterday. So with this weather back and forth a little bit.
And you don't need to rotate the pan throughout. You just
easy peasy. Stick them in 350, pull them out when they're done, let them cool. When we come back, we're going to talk about that lemon curd filling, which is a little bit different than just a jam or a jelly. And our meringue toppings. It's
wonderful.
Delicious.
Sounds delicious. Well, stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. I built the #1 brokerage firm in New York City.
MasterChef Junior premieres tonight on Fox.
Well, welcome back. Lori has been showing us her recipe for a lemon meringue cookie cup. All right, Lori, we left off mentioning the last step, and what do we do next?
So we started out with just our pre-made sugar cookie base. So again, I just used even the pre-cut, ready to go sugar cookies. So simple, really portioned perfectly for our mini cupcake containers. I know, they're just right. When you press those down into the baking tin just a little bit, they really come out with a good divot in there. If they really puff up on you a little too much, and sometimes depending on the weather they can, you can just use the back of your cookie scoop while they're warm out of the oven and give that just a little press. The only thing, and I did this accidentally yesterday on a couple of mine, be careful, don't press it in and make a hole because then your lemon filling is going to seep out. So that doesn't look very pretty.
Just like the back of a cookie scoop, perfect.
Just the back of that fits in there just right. So these are nice and cool. We sprayed that pan well so they lift out very easily, but you'll see they're nice and light on the bottom. They're just a little bit golden on those outer edges. So we want to keep it really light and just think of this, it's just a sugar cookie, no different, just the shape is how we baked it. So our next step is going to be that filling, and what I've got is a lemon curd,
Okay.
and a little bit different than just a pie filling.
And what makes it different?
So lemon curd, or any type of a fruit curd, is much smoother than a pie filling or a pudding or a jam, because it's really only made with the juice of the fruit to start with.
Okay,
You don't put the whole fruit in there and cook it down, just the juice, and it typically will have butter and eggs, whereas a jam wouldn't have butter or egg yolks in that. So it's just a little different, but it makes it really smooth, really flavorful with that fruit.
It looks so good.
And
even in the
this,
jar
I
there,
know, this
just with
cookie
the spoon.
scoop is the perfect size to then in turn just go through, and it just kind of perfectly portions that into our little cups. And you can be as generous with that as you want and really fill it. The nice part with this is also not quite as stiff as like a pie filling.
absolutely.
So when you go to bite into this, you're going to have your nice crisp cookie bottom, a smooth creamy filling on that.
It's not too sticky just coming out of that cookie scoop. You don't have to fight it or
It
anything.
works so well, and you know, it keeps it in place. You could do this with a spoon, but it's a little bit harder to keep it kind of placed that way. So this is the perfect size. It just gets it right where you want it and kind of keeps it. That way, when we put our meringue topping on there, it's not going to try to overrun that or make a mess. So
Just the perfect little
yeah,
bite size.
and these little jars are about enough for the 24 that we have in there. Now, this is not a economical way to do it, shall we say. So you can make a homemade lemon curd as well. Again, it's just lemon juice, butter, eggs, a little bit of sugar, and that's
difficult
cooked down.
is it to make just for the...
It's not. It's a little time consuming because you do have to cook it slowly, generally on a double boiler, so that it goes
for
slow.
Price. It's just whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
This is nice. It's consistent. So you're going to get, if you're doing a bunch, it may be
you
worth
might
it
as
to do
well.
it that way. So just kind of take your time. It's just your choice on that, but it's great. And then when we come back in our next bit, we are going to go through and do our meringue topping, which
Wonderful.
is the only thing we have to really make from scratch.
All right, well, stick around. We'll be right back.
48 hours today at 9, right here on Fox 14.
All right, well, we have been making lemon meringue cookie cups with Lori. She's just
Making
whipping up
noise.
her meringue right now.
I
so
am.
what is the last few steps that we need to do to make these delicious desserts?
Perfect. So our last step is making a little
Yes.
noise, but that's okay. We started out with a couple of egg whites.
Okay, yes.
And to that, we're really just adding some white sugar. Now, I like to add a little bit of cream of tartar to my meringue. It keeps it a little bit more solid and it doesn't
yes.
weep. So if you've ever made homemade meringue with fresh egg whites and it gets those little beads of moisture on it as it sets, that cream of tartar helps with that.
Does it like
So-
change the taste or anything, or does it just
it really
help?
doesn't.
Okay,
no,
wonderful.
it just gives it that little bit of stability. So we started with our egg whites, whipped them till they're a little bit foamy, a little frothy looking, and then just slowly added in that sugar. So I'm gonna make a little bit more noise for a
Just
sec.
a little bit more.
Because now we have to get it to stiff peaks. We have to get it to where it'll hold its shape. And we're very close. And this is
it's
a
looking good.
small batch, so I don't know. Let's see if you guys can kind of
right
see
there.
that a little bit. Pretty typical. And the real test is just to pull that up still a little bit soft. So we'll keep going for just a sec.
There we go.
While we do that, I tell you what, I'll hand that off to you.
Hand this to me.
This is super complicated.
Now,
Once
can you
we-
use a stand mixer for this as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can. The easiest way to get that onto our little cups once we're done is going to be to put that meringue into a piping bag.
Okay.
So all I've got here is a nice big plastic piping bag, and I put a little tip in the bottom. You'll see a little bit of the texture of that, but not a lot. So that's not a necessary item to add on there. Just depends on how fancy you want to get when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
So we should be pretty close
let
on
me
that.
pull it out here.
See?
so I don't
Oh, yeah.
explode. There we
nice.
go.
You guys can kind of see. It's probably
Kinda
a
can
little
see
too
on this
bright
right
to,
up
to
here,
really
too.
show that. You want to lay him on our
Yes.
container there so it's not too messy. We'll put a little bit of this into our piping bag because I want to make sure we have time to show you guys to brown that really quickly. So I'll put a little bit in here. all we are going to do is just make a really small
Yes.
little loop on here, but it's just the perfect amount.
Oh, that looks so good.
You know, if I'd known you had all that experience, I could have,
I
you
know.
know, planned better. It looks like, guys, we're going to
Need
have
a little sous chef over here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Are you available in the afternoons
Yeah.
for time? Can always use that.
I'll take my payment in
Right?
cookies
Now-
and cakes, please.
This is the step that this is the one thing you probably don't have at home. I have my little blowtorch because we are in Studio
Yes.
K. We can't just pop this in our oven. But we're going to light this guy up, hopefully. There he goes. And we're going to very, very slowly. Oh, he's going to be just about out of fuel here today. Got a little torch on there.
Ooh, I can already see that.
Yeah,
Just
you're gonna
browning
get
just a little bit
a
at the
little
top.
bit of browning at the top, a little bit of cooking. Now, if you're at home, you're going to pop this into the oven, and
Okay.
it's going to take seconds.
Do you bake it or broil it?
I think broiler is quicker
Okay.
and easier, so you'll want to raise that rack up
Yes.
a little bit closer to the top broiler in your oven and really let that go quickly. But it's going to be less than a minute, so you really want to pop those in there and then just stare at them. Get into that top of your oven and really watch so that
Oh,
you
they
can see
smell
them.
so good.
Yeah, you can just smell that meringue starting to, you know, brown and cook a little bit. You don't have to go overboard. They're perfect just like that.
They're
Let them cool.
perfect.
Good to go. Delicious.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Lori, for being here
Absolutely.
today. And stick around. We'll have more news after this.
Right now, Food for Less has family pack